Hey, what's up, guys? This is my Spartacus War of the Damned Episode 5 review, and this episode is called Blood Brothers. Now, I'm not going to go over exactly everything that happened in this episode. I'm just going to pick out some of the main parts that caught my attention. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is Tiberius. I mean, this dude here has lost his mind. Now, I could tell that in the last episode, when his friend died in the decimation, you could tell that he was traumatized about what just happened. He just killed his best friend. And if you notice, he wasn't calling his father anymore. He was calling him Imperator. So in this episode, the slave woman, the one that his father is having an affair with, was trying to comfort Tiberius, and she invited him to her tent, and they was having a conversation, and he was basically talking about how he felt that he's been a big disappointment to his father, and she was trying to tell him that no, his father loves him, and he started to cry, and then she hugged him, and then he had kissed her, and then she backed off and says that you mistake my intent. And then he got this crazy look on his face, and she tried to walk away, and when she tried to walk away, he grabbed her by the arm. And now in my mind, I was thinking that he was going to kill her, because he said his father took something from him and that he would take something from his father in return. So I was thinking that he was about to kill her, but he did the next worst thing, was rape her. And I don't know why he did that, because when his father finds out, it's going to be hell to pay. But then again, Tiberius, he probably doesn't even care at this point. I think he's so emotionally all messed up, I don't even think he cares what his father thinks anymore. And another thing about this episode that surprised me was those damn pirates. Now, I should have known better than to trust those pirates, because when we first seen the pirates in a couple episodes ago, I didn't trust them then. But then when they had that battle and the pirates were firing those flaming those fireballs at the Romans, then I was like, okay, so the pirates are really what Spartacus. I should have known better than that, because the pirates ended up betraying Spartacus in this episode. Now, I should have seen that coming, but I don't know why I didn't see that coming. But oh well. But at least the leader of the pirates, at least I think he died, because he got hit in the head by Spartacus. He got sliced in the face, and they showed him fall into the water. So I'm assuming that he didn't survive that. I think he died from that. But okay, and the next thing that I want to talk about is the relationship between Spartacus and Crixus. Now, in the early part of the episode, you could tell that Crixus was just pissed off, angry. He was looking at Spartacus all crazy, like he wanted to kill him. So I was actually kind of surprised at the end of the episode when Crixus came and helped out Spartacus, and they became like brothers again. Because I wasn't expecting that to happen in this episode. I actually thought they was going to stay. And then, if you think about it, the way Crixus was acting, like after the whole battle happened, and he was still stabbing the crap out of this pirate, to me that kind of shows me that he's still emotionally not quite right in the head. Like I'm still suspicious of Crixus, even though he did make up with Spartacus. I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up having a big disagreement in a future episode. Maybe not the next episode, but maybe the episode after that. But I just have a feeling that Spartacus and Crixus, they're not going to see eye to eye. I think that Crix is going to end up doing something that's going to piss off Spartacus, or I don't know. But I just got a feeling that this whole thing about them making up is not going to last. And the last thing I want to talk about is Caesar. I was so glad when Caesar killed Nemetes, because I never did like that guy anyway. That dude's always been shady. And the way he died was, it was brutal, because he got his throat cut, and then it was like he was gasping for air right before he died. I was like, whoa, that was a gruesome death there. Now I think this episode kind of answers some questions about Caesar. I can tell that I think that a lot of people may have overestimated his fighting abilities, because we saw him sparring with Gannicus in the last episode, and a lot of people were kind of thinking that maybe Caesar and Gannicus will have a future fight, which they did kind of fight in this episode a little bit. But I think people were making the mistake of putting Caesar in the same league as a champion gladiator. I mean, he's a soldier. He's a pretty good soldier, but if Gannicus was to fight Caesar one-on-one, Gannicus would kill him. But I will say that even though Caesar isn't in the same league as a Crixus or a Gannicus or Spartacus, he's still a pretty good fighter. And he was actually fighting Agron and the other big guy. They was double teaming Caesar, and Caesar was holding his own. They did overpower him, and Agron was able to knock him to the ground. And one thing I will say is that even though Caesar was at a disadvantage, he showed no fear. He actually had a smirk on his face when he got knocked to the ground. He just picked up his sword and got back up. And then that's when the Romans bust through the door. And that's when Caesar said, now would be a good time for you to run. So it shows that he's a good fighter, not in the same league as a Gannicus or Spartacus or Crixus, but he's a good fighter, and he shows no fear. Because if you notice in the one of the earlier episodes, Caesar had killed this one dude because he found out that this guy ran from a battle. And as you've seen in this episode, Caesar doesn't run from nobody. And that's what he believes. He believes you should fight to the end. Don't show no fear towards your enemy. And I just can't wait to see what happens in the next episode, because I think, as we saw in the preview, that's when Crassus and Spartacus actually meet face to face. And you can tell all hell is breaking loose in the city. And I just can't wait to see what happens. So that's it for my review. And I also want to give a shout out to House of Tigerian. He does a lot of different reviews for different TV shows, and I'm gonna leave a link to his Spartacus review in the description box. So that's all I got to say for this review of Spartacus, and I'll see you guys later.